Have you ever felt that you have to earn your self honor? That if you don't give enough, if you don't do enough or more, you don't deserve self honor, you don't deserve to be fully seen. Uh, is that sounds familiar for you? What if I tell you that actually self compassion is the key to start honoring yourself on a deeper level, where you not only make a difference for yourself, but also reconnect with your source power and actually start making difference for others with your presence, because your presence is enough to make that difference for yourself and for others. We so been reprogrammed that we have to earn our honor, that the compassion is something that it's just for the weak and it's not worth considering. Well, I'm here to tell you that I was guided with connection with my spirit to explore divine compassion on a deeper level in 2026. I came to realization after years of exploration with divine words and divine expressions for the last this is my 6th year from that. It started with divine love, joy, peace, light, and compassion. So actually, it's a fifth. Year. I know a thing or two. It doesn't mean I know everything. However, came to realizations that this is just to embody and integrate more of that divine love, joy, peace, light, compassion, that it requires some transformation. It requires shifting perspectives, requires to see things from a different light, to experience my blessings and miracles in my life. And that's the reason the divine compassion is my guiding word for 2026. I'm curious what will come through next for 2027. We like more than mid-year already. We on already on the 7th month, close to completion in this year. So moving closer and closer to the next year. And last year it was actually that word divine compassion was revealed to me much earlier than I expected. I wasn't waiting until December uh, to reveal that word. Somehow with some of my presence, the word came through. And even though I was having some lingering thoughts and trying to get some understanding, however, I started dropping and attempts of making that more logical and accepted that that will be the word. That will be an interesting adventure, and it is. Trust me, it is interesting adventures and challenges that many times putting me to my knees to somehow find in all those challenges the self-compassion. And it's many times become even a struggle to bring that self-compassion when you are dealing with some health issues, especially with your family members, when they getting lost because of the age, because of the health issues, and they lacking the understanding, and they never really been in allowing that self-compassion. And now it's the time for them to bring that self-compassion. However, it's so easy to be lost in their despair and their misunderstanding when they still so logical, and emotions are something that they were withholding, and all of a sudden those emotions are coming to the surface and they don't know what to do, and it becoming a panic. It can influence you no matter how brave you are, how courageous you are, how transform your life is, that somebody else, those panicky energies can influence you, especially when your transformation came not to be so close, but more open and more sensitive to others' feelings and others' energies. It can do the numbers. And finding some new, I don't like to call it boundaries, but actually finding more of that self-compassion to yourself and self-honoring is that boundary I should call, which I don't really like, because those boundaries can become a big walls when it's hard to penetrate, and it's not only preventing from the interactions with the others. When we think, okay, we'll keep ourselves safe from the others, it becomes a self-imprisonment for ourselves, when we know not paying attention, because we all of a sudden living under those high walls and being hurt, and somehow not allowing ourselves to process what happened, and not allowing some thoughts, because they don't feel comfortable to move through us, the feelings to move through us, because it will be uncomfortable in our mind, in our heart, in our body, and stucking ourselves for good. So where that compassion, self-compassion especially, that's where it starts, comes very handy and become a key to open that door in that big wall, to see you for who you are, as a beautiful, amazing, one of a kind human being, and that is allowed to actually bring that self honor and respect, and deserves to be seen, because this is a gift. It's not something you get to earn, and that's another part of us, that the worthiness, where we discounting ourselves for benefits of others, can become a detrimental, especially for heart center women in mid-age, when they raising the families, they dealing with aging parents, they dealing with the families, husbands, spouses, and kids, and also exploring their careers. It could be very detrimental, and having lack of that self-compassion and self-honoring, because it seems like everybody else need us, and we don't have a time, we don't have a space to give ourselves that, and we think that we earn, that somebody will notice us, that maybe finally kids will understand, maybe spouse will understand, maybe our parents will understand that we giving our heart, that we giving our blood, that we giving ourselves to them. And there is a distinguished thing that it's hard, many times very easy to overlook, when we actually give our heart, by standing in our power, connected to our source power, and when we actually giving away the power for the benefits of others, and giving ourselves totally, and being used and abused and dishonor, that is disease, that creates that resentment towards others and towards ourselves, because we don't understand, we've been so good, we give ourselves away, and still it wasn't enough for the other person. Maybe it's enough for a minute, but all of a sudden they changing their mind, and it's not enough, and well, they usually, most likely, they don't know how to honor themselves, and how to bring the self-compassion to themselves, and they think if they demanding from somebody else more, that's what will bring that compassion and respect to them, especially in the relations between kids and parents, or from the previous generation, between your parents and you, and between you as a parent and your kids, for example, when many times, for many generation, that was practiced, that the elderly have that given respect, either the right or wrong, that they can be demanding, because they are parents, and they can do whatever they want, and they can reprogram us, and we actually many times contribute to reprogramming of our kids. to demand that respect, even though the kids were many times were rebellious, not because they didn't want to respect us, because they were confused. Well, because they knew more than you even saw. Well, they saw that you disrespecting yourself, you not giving yourself compassion, but you demanding from them. So they pretty smart cookies. So it was a confusion for them because they are copycats, and they were confused why you demanding things that you not willing to do yourself. So that's why we get to come and stand in our true power, and with connection with source power, and using our beautiful voice to make a difference for ourselves and others, because then we serve as example for our parents, who may be demanding because they're aging, they may be becoming more ill, and panicking, because they don't know, after years of this dishonoring and not bringing enough compassion to themselves. It's a new territory for them, and they many times not seeing that, and bless whoever even at the older age start coming to those realizations that it's okay to give yourself compassion and stop resentment, especially because those experiences that they experience in deeper health challenges, for example, or not able to move as they used to, or there is some other challenges that unfolding with that, is for them to bring more of that self-compassion, to honor themselves, and not demanding that from the kids or not demanding that from others, and playing the victim modes. And same with our kids, we get to be showing, becoming those role models, to show them that it's possible to live our legacy on a daily basis, and to show to our kids that it's possible, and stop demanding that honoring and respect, but honoring yourself and respecting yourself, and bring that self-compassion. They will see that you are human also, and they will see what it's all about in more authentic way, and it will help them to break those generational chains of that demands of self-honor, and not allowing that self-compassion, that will create a different experience for that new generation. And we are here for that generation to make a difference for them. So we get to, even in mid-age, when our power is rising, to show those better examples, not what we learn as the kids, because our parents, and not to blame, because there's too late to blame our parents. We right now in that, like a sandwich generation, that we dealing with our parents that losing their mind and their marbles, and the kids that also being confused of the demands of the modern world, of that pressure that is instilled because of that those continuous demands of the disconnections from ourselves, of pushing ourselves, not allowing that compassion, not allowing honoring ourselves, spending hours at the different social medias, and it feels like a norm, that this is something we have to do. We don't have a choice. We do get to bring that self-compassion and self-honoring to ourselves, and put those phones on the side. They meant to actually help us, to they meant to actually save us, uh, give us more time, and they end up actually stealing our time, stealing our lives, stealing our relations, because we no longer able to communicate. And I keep observing, and Yes, I'm also working to how to disconnect that phone, especially when the parents right now always calling about something because today is this issue or the other, because I want to be available for my kid when they have some need. So it's understandable that you feel like you cannot really fully disconnect yourself from the phone. However, give some breaks, put that phone away, and create that space. Give yourself that self-compassion and self-honoring to return home to yourself, and to stand in your true power, and using your voice, and not just hearing other people's voices, and hearing your inner critical voice that telling you to be continue to in that kind of jail, self jail, that it's not possible for you, that you don't have a chance, you don't have a space, you don't have a time to bring that compassion, and bring more of that self honor to yourself. You get to be keep serving others, and hopefully some miracle happen. The miracle won't happen if you will not start honoring yourself, because it will just continues that journey of dishonoring. The more you pushing yourself, you dishonoring yourself, and opening that door to for others to dishonor yourself, and you start feeling that it might be a penalty, that you being punished for something. It's actually when it intensifies, it's the time for you to wake up and start realizing that this is for you to wake up. It becomes so intense that you start possibly shifting the perspective, that it's time to bring some compassion and self-compassion to yourself, and self-honor to yourself, in order to be of true service to others. Otherwise, you just burning yourself to the crisp, and living with a lot of regrets, exhausting, and mind, when you exhausting, when you also start losing some hope, it's easy for our mind to create some stories to diminish our value, to feel that we don't deserve to have that compassion, or to honor ourselves. So having that courage to start giving yourself that compassion and self-honor, to be able to connect more with your spirit, and to experience more of that divine compassion, and divine honor with yourself. And at that point, you can share that with the others. You can create that community and deeper connections with the other human beings, with your parents, with your siblings, with your kids, with your spouses, with your friends, with your clients, and your communities, and start building that immunity against those disconnections, against those limitations that many times been instilled by generational understanding, or some that we somehow didn't know how to go about it, and we created in our own minds, and program our subconscious to be in that stuckness, and not living our legacy, but hoping that maybe after the life has to be hard, and we cannot allow to enjoy our life to the fullest every single day, and be that light, and be that role model for the others. So inviting you to connect, to engage, what that divine compassion means to you. I would love to see in the comment section for connection. My mission and calling with those divine words, and with connection with my spirit, to support mid-age women in standing in their power and using their voice. So I here to connect with you, and create that community, to build that immunity against those forces, disconnecting forces, to bring more of that compassion, brings more of that connections, brings more of that honor, and expand our presence, because our presence is enough, and it gets to be expanded, and that expansion can happen with the community, with yourself, but also it can expand further with community, with others, when like they saying, with whoever you you sticking yourself, and then you kind of become, I know that I'm paraphrasing, but that's something that you can have some people that you keep stucking yourself and shrinking yourself for their benefits, or you can start expanding your presence with others who are here to honor you, and because they honoring yourself, and because they're giving themselves compassion, and you can experience that together. And then it becomes, with that practice, it becomes easier to finally standing more in your true power, and with connection with your source power, your spirit, and using your beautiful voice, and making that difference for yourself and for others. And then it's a beautiful experience when you become that beacon of light, where you making a difference for your aging parents, where you making that difference for your kids, and you help with breaking those generational karmas that things have to be certain way, with more compassion, and honoring, by starting honoring yourself, and that honor start becoming as a gift, and compassion is your beloved kind of companion as well. They go both together, because they becoming a gift and friends, and not something that has to be demanded. And yes, your parents start all of a sudden you have more compassion towards you, and themselves, and all of a sudden your kids might have more compassion towards you, and honor, and themselves, and they don't know even how it came about. It came from you. It came from because you made the choice that enough is enough, that you get to give yourself that self-compassion and self-honoring. And when you standing in that, it's you creating that role modeling that it's possible for others. Your presence is enough to create that, and rippling that from you to the others, and to practice more that expansion and community, the unity in the community, to build that immunity. I'm inviting you to connect. You can also check my website, awaken.women.com, where there are some free resources and links to connecting on the call. So feel free to go check that out. There's also weekly blog posts, and there is one on the topic of that compassion and self-honoring this week, and exploring honoring for the month of July. So stay tuned what will come in August. It's been revealing months to return to your home, and standing in that power, using your voice, and live your legacy, when those words with age, starting with age, we're revealing each month. I believe I have a bunch of broadcasts on the YouTube channels. There's a bunch of blog posts around those topics, and we shall see what will happen in August, and at what point I will also be guided, and to for my guiding words for 2027. So curious to know, and I'm not attempting to force anything, just exploration, when for them to show up in the perfect timing. And same, that's those words coming through me from my spirit, without much of the force, but asking open questions, and coming to my awareness, and not coming from some judgment, but more in acceptance of what I get to share. And I'm many times pleasantly surprised what experiences are coming through around those things, that all of a sudden I'm listening to some podcasts and broadcasts from other individuals, and all of a sudden around the same time they're sharing about those things. So it's even more proof and evidence that it's not something that I just somehow fabricated, that it really came from my spirit, and with some people that are more connected and standing in their source power and using their voice. It might resonate, it might, because we all connected, they also might bring some guidance from their spirit, that might be something of similar, that our spirits asking us to share with more people around certain topics where it's time to wake up to that potential and to explore more of that, because they know they are here to guide us, and they are here to support us and protect us, whatever it's in your kind of belief, God, spirit, your soul, and it's up to us to drop that resistance, to bring more of that self-compassion and self-honor, and start bringing more of that inner wisdom that we have in abundance, and tuning to it. It's so important those days. So without further ado, sending so much love, joy, peace, light, and compassion to you, my dears, and take care. Talk to you soon.